Hello, it's James here from Awaken Therapy, and after many months of working away in my little writer's cabin here, finally it's produced, finally it's published, it's here now, Trauma Survivor to Soul Warrior, Reconnect with Your True Self. And this book was born out of the need I found with so many clients for something that bridges the gap between standard psychology and spirituality, because so many people now are on the spiritual path and definitely on that emerging, questioning, connecting with soul dimension of things, but how to fit that in with trauma work. Now, life's challenging. Most people have got significant life challenges. A lot of people have got what we'd call trauma, and so many of the wonderful, amazing clients I've worked with over the years have been dealing with very significant old trauma, stuck energy, stuck difficulties from the past. And what I've found is that something to map the whole journey from the heavy lifting stages of therapy and healing through the stages of understanding and hypnotherapy, ultimately into the spiritual realm of what does it all mean, what's it all for, and that's why I've written this book for you. So I wanted something to really map the whole picture, a holistic guide to your healing journey with everything covered within its pages. And so the first half of the book is called Part 1, Involution, Leaving Home, and that's all about the journey as souls of coming into this place, this planet of difficulties. It talks a lot about the sorts of challenges we face, but also the sole reasons that we would take it on. Why would we venture into this? And there's a number of interviews I do throughout the book with various experts, including the spirituality dimensions. Why do we take this on? And then we talk about trauma, what's actually going on there as we venture into this, what happens here. And I speak to a few experts in the book about their different perspectives on trauma, what it is. And then we start to map a few ways to understand the whole picture, to look at life, to look at the whole experiential dimensions, to set us up for the healing. And the last page of that, the last stage of that first part is about my SAFE model for healing, looking at the different elements of seeing and accepting these different fragments of ourselves in order to elevate them. And so we go in detail into how we can arm ourselves with these tools to help us on a healing journey. And so then we go into Part 2, which is Evolution, Returning Home. And the first 3 chapters of that are the healing tree. Now, the healing tree is a model I use to just differentiate the different aspects of healing. So we start in the roots. The roots is the heavy lifting of healing. It's the raw material of calming down our dysregulated nervous system, getting more grounded, coming back to breath, coming back to rhythm, just clearing the old emotions, starting to get on top of the intensity of our stress reactions. And then we can move into the trunk, where we start to bring in more psychological understanding of different elements of what's going on, can start to make sense of it all, and bring in the wonderful tools of hypnotherapy, where we can really start to make a difference to those parts of our mind that are stuck in our journey. Inner child work in particular is a big aspect of that. And then we venture into the branches. Now, branches is where we're bringing in our spiritual practice. And a big part of spiritual practice can be things like renaturing, connecting to nature again, breathing, meditating, yoga, different ways to reconnect with our spiritual dimension. We're starting to plug back into the soul, reconnect to the soul. And then we go beyond the canopy. And that's really where it gets exciting. We sort of venture beyond who we are in our humanness altogether, and we're stepping into that greater experience of who we are on a soul level. And finally, we're returning back home and celebrating the qualities, the gifts that have evolved out of the experiences, out of the struggle, out of the traumatic stresses that you've been through. And so it's a very comprehensive involution, evolution journey, full of case studies, practical exercises, interviews with different experts in different fields, personal sharing, and really just sharing with you some of the best things that I've developed or learned or found useful with people I've worked with over the last 30 plus years. Very excited to have this in print now, to be sharing this with you in a published form. I hope you find it helpful, useful, really practical, but also very uplifting, to give you a sense of hope that even within the most difficult, stuck places, even in the darkest terrain on the earth, there is the fact that you're already the soul warrior. There's already that powerful you hidden beneath that. And really the journey is about clearing away enough of the residue to be able to remember that, to reconnect with that. So yeah, have a look at the website. You can find this as an ebook, as a soft cover, as a hard cover, in the printed form. Hopefully next year I'll be doing an audiobook version as well. But yeah, very pleased, very proud to offer this to you, trauma survivor to soul warrior.